Brown's denied that he cut defence spending and put British soldiers' lives at risk while he was Chancellor during the Iraq War. He told the Iraq inquiry that the military got everything they requested, dismissing earlier evidence to the inquiry that he was responsible for massive budget cuts. He also defended going to war, saying it was the right decision, and he expressed regret at the loss of life. As our political editor Tom Bradby reports, the Prime Minister's appearance contrasted in many ways to that of Tony Blair's just a few weeks ago.
His bearing and demeanour could hardly have been more different from those of his predecessor. Unlike Tony Blair, Gordon Brown arrived at the Iraq inquiry through the front door. He showed no discernible sign of nerves and delivered a confident performance.
Good morning. Good morning, Prime Minister.
But it was all very Gordon, by which I mean the inquiry discovered what we've known a while, that it's sometimes hard to get a straight answer to a straight question.
The question I'm asking is whether the Prime Minister of the day had told you effectively what he'd told President Bush.
We knew that the options available to us included going to war.
I'm just asking
the final decision,
really for a sort of yes or no answer as to whether he told you what he told President Bush.
The final decision was made in the end by the Cabinet after the diplomatic option was exhausted.
Do I take it from this that he hadn't told you in terms of what he'd said to President Bush?
I had regular conversations with Tony Blair and we talked about these issues, but I don't have copies of his letters and I don't know the exact conversation, and you wouldn't expect me to.
So not really an answer at all. He was adamant that he'd thought diplomacy would work and insisted there'd be no secret agenda for war. He said the Americans had mucked up the post-war planning despite his own attempts to get them on the right track. But the big issue was whether he starved the armed forces of money. Remember these previous witnesses.
We asked for significantly more money than we eventually received.
It meant that we had to go in for a very major savings exercise.
There was indeed a list of stuff that we were having to make decisions about, and I think we drew a line somewhere halfway down the page and said, if you go any further than that, you'll probably have to look for a new set of chiefs.
Mr. Brown insisted the military got everything it wanted.
Every single request that was made for equipment had to be met, and every request was met. And at any point, the military commanders were able to ask for equipment that they needed, and I know of no occasion when they were turned down for it.
That isn't how many in the military see it, and it's a fact that Mr. Brown lavished 3 or 4 times more new cash in percentage terms on health and education than defence, despite committing our forces to 2 wars. In all, he confirmed Iraq had cost a staggering £9 billion. But he had no regrets about going to war.
Nobody would want to make this decision except in the most gravest of circumstances where you were sure that you were doing the right thing. And I've said that I think it was the right decision made for the right reasons.
Today won't have won him any votes, but then Iraq is a toxic subject the government would rather forget. Tom Bradby, ITV News at Westminster.